I call this meeting to order. This is the public hearing of the Northfield School Board to hear testimony from residents of the Northfield School District relating to the qualifications of prospective appointees to fill the vacancy on the Northfield School Board. Today is Monday, February 8th, 2016, and the time is 6:30 p.m. For those wishing to speak, we ask that you step to the podium and state your name and address, and if you are speaking on behalf of a group. We ask that you limit your remarks to 3 minutes. As a reminder, this is a listening opportunity for the board. So, is there anyone here who wishes to address the board?
I'm betting there are a few people.
You can just, you can just
So
come
don't be shy.
We'll just work it that everyone will just come to the podium
Yep.
as you.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Rick Estenson. I live at 10541 Ibsen Avenue in Northfield.
Can I just stop for a second? Aaron, did you get that? Okay, so if everyone can just state their addresses more slowly because we have to be sure we capture.
Okay.
Thank you. Sorry. Okay.
I'm here to speak to you on behalf of one of the applicants, Michael Bertelson, for the position of school board. And I've known Mike and his wife Melissa for many years now. So I know them personally, and I think Mike would be an outstanding candidate for this role. Obviously, Mike's role with the university, working with facilities, gives him a great opportunity to bring some of that wealth of knowledge and information to our school district, as facilities has got to be one of our major budget items here. But aside from that, I think Mike's familiarity with finance and with teaching in general, and has had kids go through the school system here, makes him a wonderful person to be able to provide that perspective as well. I think Mike's background with finance is one of particular note as well. And I've worked with Mike on a variety of volunteer roles, as well as just known him personally. So not a statement against any of the other candidates, more in favor of Mike Bertelson.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I'm Peggy Prova. I live at 619 East 9th Street. My father was on the school board for 12 years when I was a kid. I listened to him talk to legislators about the importance of financing for our school district. He was making sure that the 4 of us kids had a good education. And I want to make sure you elect Fritz Bogart to help make sure that our community has an excellent education for Northfield youngsters. In my 10 years on the City Council, I was very aware of the importance of serving the public well with public money. One needs to be extremely prudent about that. And I think you will find that Fritz will be very conscientious in managing the public's money for the welfare of Northfield students. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jim Blaha. I reside at 3325 70th Street West, Northfield, Minnesota. I'm a member of or a resident within the school district. I sent my kids through here, and I work for the Community Action Center. And it's with that frame of reference that I recommend Fritz Bogart to the interim chair or interim seat that you have available. Fritz has demonstrated by interest working from the outside in terms of amplifying the voice of clients, the demographic that I work with during my Community Action Center work, and ensuring that those children and their families with the multiple stressors that are in play in their lives receive the educational excellence that Northfield hails as their primary goal. I would recommend Fritz. I know he's active and interested, and I think that the voice of the people that I see most often during the day needs some amplification, and I think he would carry that to your board. I would urge your positive consideration of Fritz. Thank you.
Well, better make a change there. I'm Carrie Nelson. I live at 914 West 2nd Street in Northfield, and I'm here to speak in support of Mike Bertelson's application to fill the vacancy on the board. Mike is uniquely well suited to jump in and immediately and meaningfully contribute to the board's work for these next several months. You've already heard about his professional qualifications, his background in finance and facilities management, excellent background for the kind of work the board does. I'd like to talk a little bit more about his local experience and his local qualifications. Mike is deeply committed to the Northfield Public Schools as an involved parent who sent his 3 children through elementary, middle, and high school in the Northfield Public Schools, and as a volunteer over the years, most notably on the District Finance Advisory Committee for several years. Mike also comes to you with the best possible experience. He is a recent and seasoned Northfield School Board member. I think many of you know that I served on the Northfield School Board for 12 years, and Mike served 6 of those years with me. And in that time, I really got to know how he deals with board issues. Mike is a thoughtful listener, open to all facts and all points of view. He is skilled at absorbing large amounts and processing a wide variety of complex information, and he's experienced at interacting with the many different constituencies that a board member must represent. Mike is a disciplined decision maker. He's able to develop and articulate thoughtful frameworks of guiding principles with which to explore issues, but he's not rigid. He's able to change his mind, and he thoughtfully listens, and he's not afraid to change his mind when new information and new perspectives are presented. I have to say I didn't always agree with Mike when we served on the board, but I always really appreciated his thoughtful consideration of the issues and the thoughtful approach that he brought to the questions before us. You as a school board are going to decide lots of different things in the next 11 months, and some of those issues are things that you already know are coming up, and some of them are going to be surprises. And I believe that Mike Bertelson is uniquely qualified to assist this board with your important work in the months ahead. Thank you.
Get it halfway to where I need it. I'm Jim Gleason, 200 Oak Street. I'm here to support Ray Cox for the 11-month position. And this position, he's not going to run for it. He was on the school board for 15 years. I was a school student here for quite a while. And one thing about Ray is he's really tough. He's really fair. He's extremely knowledgeable. He's a builder in Northfield. Was a builder. I guess he's retired now. But I think if the board would strongly consider him, because of the fact that he's not going to be up for election and everybody else can run for election in the fall, I think he'd be a very, very good choice. He's got a lot of experience in building, facilities, past experience. I think it was about $100 million worth excuse me, of bonding that he worked on in the past, facilities. So good luck with your decisions.
Is there anyone else who wishes to speak? Is there anyone else who wishes to speak? I do not see anyone coming forward.
Okay.
Okay.
We have a little bit of time
Okay.
before our next meeting.
So one last
Move the mic.
last call.
Move the mic.
Okay, I'm sorry. Last call then. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak? Yes, you can step to the podium.
Would you like the candidates to speak now?
This is absolutely an option for the candidates to speak. Absolutely.
Whenever you're ready.
This would be the opportunity for candidates to speak at this point.
Perfect.
Jim is a little taller than I am. Move that down. I've known Ray and Mike for years, and certainly their experience.
Oh,
you
I'm
know,
sorry. Could
and
you please state your name and your address?
Dale Gehring, 412 West 2nd Street.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and Ray and Mike's experience certainly, it goes without saying, and known those gentlemen for years and so on. They've got that experience and more qualified. I'm here because Dylan goes to the high school and Jada goes to the middle school. That's why I'm here. I think I can make an impact. Definitely involved in the community. Certainly my application kind of states where I've been. Some of you may know, what I'm involved in and what I've done, and certainly I know most of you. But really, that's the difference, is my kids are in school here, and I'd like to be active. I'd like to make a difference in their education and their lives, quite frankly. So thank you for your consideration.
Ray Cox, 500 Ivanhoe Avenue. And I submitted my application to do the interim, or I guess people are calling the interim seat on the school board when Ann resigned, to step in and try to bring the kind of common sense that I think I brought to the board for 15, 16 years earlier for this interim time. As Jim mentioned, it's not my intention to run for school board. I would like to see the school board appoint a true interim person and let the voters do the vetting of the candidates that maybe would step forward. I think there's probably a number of people in the community that would be great long-term school board members. I don't look to do that. Like I say, I would look to fill the portion of the term here of Ann's appointment or election. And as others have said, I have a background in construction in the community for over 42 years. Served on the school board here for almost 16 years, and served on the Northfield Planning Commission, board of the Community Action Center, the Northfield Area Foundation, just a lot of things in the community. I think I have a good pulse of the Northfield and school area community, the farmers, the business people, the teachers, the students, just everybody that makes this school district the great school district that it is, and I'd like to do what I can to help keep guiding it in that way. And as I said, just for the 11-month period. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Not quite. This is a height adjustment. I'm Mike Bertelson. I live in 208 Manitou Street in Northfield. As was said earlier, Melissa and I have raised our 3 sons. We have 1 left. We're about 6 months away from having, or fewer, 5 months now, from having a graduating senior. Our 3 sons have attended all the buildings except for Sibley. So he's been around and participated in many activities. I'm a strong believer in education, as all of us are here, and I've made that a priority through my life. I'm now my 23rd year at the University of Minnesota, and that's been part of my life. Volunteering, whether it's in the classrooms or on field trips or in school district strategic planning or on the school board, and from also just on the daily basis and how we, at home, education's part of what we do there too, continuing the education that they receive here, continuing that at home. So that's why I'm interested. I believe in the cause and the purpose. What do I have to offer the school district, which is what you get to choose if this is the best fit for you at this time. For the short interim role, my experience would be allow me to contribute to the board right away. As an associate VP for facilities at the university, I lead an organization of about $200 million a year and 1,100 employees for 24 million square feet. So I deal on a daily basis with the issues that you as a board deal with as an organization, whether it be at IT or human resources, facilities, finance, strategic planning, all of the same issues that have to be dealt with as a board. Outside of work, I've dealt with it on community task force for economic development, planning committees for church, being on a board of a Minnesota camp. And most relevantly, I guess, as was said earlier, I served on the school board with some of you. Were able to do that for 6 years. And then felt I was able to contribute and would like to be able to do that again if that seems to be the right fit for you. So I thank you for your time this evening and for your service. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Fritz Bogot, 8651 Spring Creek Road. Is this better? Mm-hmm. So my dad was first generation college. He grew up in a working class background and managed to get a few scholarships and ended up going to medical school and served as a family practice doctor in Austin, Minnesota for years and years. So I have a really visceral sense of how education can change outcomes. My mom was a preschool teacher and served on the Austin School Board for years and really demonstrated the importance of giving back to the local schools. I think serving on this board would be the best way to carry forward the work that I'm already doing for Northfield kids with Accelerate Northfield and Northfield Promise. As I said in my application, when we first moved to Northfield, our older daughter was in kindergarten, and I was a classroom volunteer at that time. And then in 2011, I believe, the district published statistics on the learning gap between wealthier and less wealthy children. And Rachel and I looked at the statistics and wished that we could do something. But of course, that was also the year that the state was borrowing money from the school district, and so there wasn't any money to go around. And we knew that anything that we did needed to be either revenue neutral or very inexpensive. And we sat down with Zach Pruitt and with the high school principals and several other people and decided to start Accelerate Northfield by way of bringing in volunteer and college tutors and placing them in elementary classrooms. And over the years, that's wound up bringing in several hundred tutors who together have put in something like 20,000 hours of tutoring service in the schools. My professional background is as an engineer and as a businessman working for startups and large corporations, and my particular role has tended to be as a project manager, generally looking at a really long set of requirements, picking a few priorities, building a team, finding a budget, following the budget, delivering on results, and inevitably at the last minute, all of the requirements that you believed in have all changed, which is more or less what happens to schools every year, that everything that you believed, all the financial numbers that you knew are always shifting and changing, and that's familiar to me from my professional life. In recent times, I've attended the master facilities planning meetings, helped out on this recent World's Best Workforce video, and I'm serving on DPAC, so I'm pretty up to speed on current issues in front of the board. And so I feel like I'm current and ready to help. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to address the board? No? Okay, seeing no one come forward. On behalf of the board, I wanted to thank both the applicants and their supporters for participating in this public hearing and for your remarks. And I think as board members looking out, we see so many of you that have been continually supportive of the school district. So we really appreciate you being here tonight and really acknowledging what a critical and important this decision is for the board. And I think clearly as a result of the remarks, we obviously have a very difficult decision ahead of us. So that concludes the business for tonight's public hearing. So with that, I ask for a motion to adjourn. Moved by Noel, second by Margaret. Just a reminder, so we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned, and I will just make one note. We will convene for our regular school board meeting at 7 p.m. Thank you.